Hey guys, this is Chesney Hawks here. You are watching My Hammers 11 with the one and only Russ.
Hi everybody, Russ and My Hammers 11. Hope you're all safe and well. For this channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon so you may be able to any time putting new content on. As always, like to thank our channel sponsors on Tugget. Check them out in the description below. Today we have another ex-hammer, as you can see. I believe Nigel's our 80th ex-player we've had on the channel, which is mental because we've only been going for a year, but it's all good. It's Mr. Nigel Winterburn. How are you, Nigel?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you.
How's life treating you at the moment?
Pretty much like a lot of people, I think. I've been locked away for far too long, but we are surviving. I think we are very, very lucky where I and the family live. With lots of open spaces, so yeah, we can just do as we like, really, without coming into contact with too many people, which has helped. But also, as well, it can get a bit boring, can't it? So, and I have to admit, I did not enjoy the football last season. I think it's probably the least amount of games I've watched
really
since I retired. Yeah, I just found it's not football, is it?
Yeah.
For me, supporting your team, having those fans inside the stadium, the atmosphere, the pressure it puts on you, not knowing what's going to happen and how they're going to react, is part of the game, and that's part of why I played. And unfortunately, I found it very, very difficult to watch last season. Hence, don't ask me too much because I haven't got a clue what went on.
Well, it doesn't matter, Nigel. All you need is West Ham did well and Arsenal didn't do that well that season. That's it. That's basically the synopsis of the season for once. We're very, very fortunate of a good season for us. I know what you mean, though. And actually, with the Euros and stuff, I know we don't want to talk about it too much, but seeing like fans again in the stadium, just, you saw how much it meant. Obviously, the guys covering the games as well, the ex-professionals, seeing the fans, and hopefully beginning of the season we'll have full capacity back at the London Stadium and Emirates and all the other grounds. So he's hoping.
I'm hoping we will, even if it's not full capacity. It's looking like it will be, but just to get some support back inside will give us some normality, and we can hopefully move on.
Yeah, totally. No, exactly. And and as I said, it's one of those things where typically West Ham had quite a good season last season, considering it's typical because there's no bloody fans there anyway.
Yeah.
It's the West Ham way,
Maybe that's the key.
Well, you know what? There is truth in that. I think I've always, I was still there. I was still playing the music and stuff in the grounds. Still walking out to bubbles and stuff. So still doing that. And I think actually you're right. I think at some time at the beginning of the season, it wasn't a very enjoyable place. And so no fans there probably helps the team get into the season, but there were certain games where the fans would have brought them over the line and we'd have got a few more points. So it's good with the bad, but no, it's all good. And we only got 5 weeks to wait until it kicks off again. Brilliant.
Yes. Can't wait. I'm ready. I'm ready to go.
You're ready. You double jabbed, Nigel. You double jabbed.
I am double jabbed, although I just got a ping this morning. Thank you from the NHS. That I haven't been near anybody for 18 months, but so I think they were feeling sorry for me.
Just checking could you
do another few days? I think we've got another 4 days or something to do, so it will be it will be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Anyway, so for those maybe sort of younger fans, obviously, yes, Nigel played 550 games for Arsenal, and he did win 3 league titles and Cap Winners' Cups, but more importantly, he played 94 times for West Ham, and so much so you got to the pinnacle that you retired after you stint at West Ham. That was it. You were at the pinnacle of your career playing for West Ham, and so. But I tell you what, I was looking through it, and
or you could have said, in other words, I was too old.
Not at all, Nigel, not at all. In terms of the move from Arsenal to West Ham, what was the stepping stones? Because obviously, you played for Arsenal for so many years, won so much. Were you looking to leave, or was it if an offer comes up, or?
No, not really. I wasn't. Obviously, to be honest with you, I'd always planned to retire at Arsenal. That
Yeah.
was what I was looking to do. But obviously, when Arsene Wenger came in, there was a lot of uncertainty. But he came in '96, but
Yeah.
I managed to hang on for 4 more years. But Arsene Wenger is such a great man. He's very, very hard to fall out with.
Sure.
And even I had a conversation. I think it was around Christmas time, and 99. I think it was just after, and he was just saying to me that I'm looking to start to change things up a little bit. You probably won't be the number one in your position anymore, but obviously you've still got a huge part to play for the club. But anyway, so from there on in, it was a case of how could I handle that? I was very, very lucky in my career. I was used to play at most places I went to. I was playing regular.
Yeah.
And I literally I'd done about 3 months at Arsenal when I was playing once every 5 or 6 weeks. Silvino had come into the team.
Yeah.
And literally I just couldn't deal with it. The disappointment of training Monday to Friday, if you like, if you're thinking about it in regular terms, and not being selected on Saturday was just too much for me.
Yeah.
So I spoke with Arsene Wenger again and said, look, it's not what I wanted, but I think I've still got something to offer.
Yeah.
So I've got to be honest with you. At the end of the season, I'm going to be looking to move, and I think he knew because he just said, "Look, whatever decision you make, we will help you with that journey." And he was he was brilliant all the way through, and I sort of let people know that I was potentially going to be moving, and West Ham came up very, very quickly. I love the style of play, so I pretty much knew that I was going to join West Ham provided everything went smoothly, and I didn't realise why it wasn't, because I thought I was leaving on a free transfer after all my service to Arsenal.
Yeah.
But they sort of chucked in a bit of the bombshell at the end of the season that they wanted me to stay and offered me my biggest contract I think that I'd ever been offered.
Oh, wow.
And it was, I just, the money's nice, but football is more important to me. I just couldn't handle once every 5 or 6 weeks.
No.
I already knew the salary I was getting at West Ham anyway.
Yeah.
So I'd already agreed that with Harry, and then we just had to, it's all really sorted, and then we just had to try and work out why all of a sudden Arsenal wanted 500,000 for me. I think it was for turning down the contract, if I was honest. And David Dean wasn't very happy.
No.
But in the end, it all sorted out, and I think West Ham got conned out 250 grand, but.
Not really, no. I mean,
it was, I mean,
94 games out of you. That's not a con. That's
but it was, so from my point of view, I was pretty strong on who I was joining straight away, which was you guys. But there was a couple of little hurdles and a couple of little grenades thrown in the way to try and tempt me to stay. But for me, it was more about playing.
Yeah. Totally.
And I just wanted that opportunity to keep pushing, right to the end of my career, really.
Yeah, totally. And it's quite refreshing because we see a lot of players, nowadays who aren't that way inclined. Some people want to be. I mean, we've interviewed quite a lot of the youth team actually around your time, or just before you joined the teams that won the 1999 FA Youth Cup, and a lot of them, Harry offered them a contract to stay in the squad. But they wanted to be first. They wanted to play first team, and so they may have dropped down and played for Scunthorpe or Swansea, but they made 300-400 appearances for that, and they made a career away from West Ham. That's probably the same from you, from the other end of the spectrum, so to speak. And that's. I mean, it is about and I think that's more of a slightly romantic view of football now. I think fans now have that assumption that they all want to play. That all the players want to play, but unfortunately, there's the money in the game now. It means that they will sign a big contract and stay. Obviously, West Ham have got an issue with Jesse Lingard at the moment. Is he going to go back to Man United? Is he going to stay at West Ham? It's like, well, clearly, if he goes to West Ham, he's going to be playing first team football. If he goes to Man United, he's not. So, I think there's a slight disconnect with how fans see.
I think to be fair, I think you got a high majority of players that are playing for the love of the game, and they know that actually now, if they're at a big club, even in my time, relative wage wise, that if you were successful, you were at a big club for long enough, you were going to earn some decent money. But there were those players that would say they got the opportunity. Oh no, I'm just going to take the money. I think that's quite a brave thing to say. But from my point of view, it was more about wanting to play football, who I was playing for, really. So or I would, to be quite honest with you, I would have, I'm quite open and honest about it. My idea was to retire at Arsenal, but I still felt that I had at least another couple of good seasons to go, provided I was playing regular, because I knew that the training that I needed to do would give me that push for the match day. And once I lost that at Arsenal, I found that very hard. Not only in terms of, I felt I was losing out physically, not playing matches week after week, but also mentally it became very, very hard to take. So hence why, as soon as the West Ham became interested, I mean, it was like, well, here we go. We can reset the trigger and start again for me. And one of the things I've always said when I joined West Ham was my big worry was that, and let's be honest about it, West Ham have taken some players coming towards the end of the career where it hasn't worked. And my big thing was to say that, listen, you're getting everything that I've got, whether I'm signed 2 years, but whether I'm here a year, 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years, I'm here to make sure that I show you that I'm not here. I'm not here for the money. I'm here for the football and trying to give that enjoyment back to people.
Yeah, totally. Oh, and totally, Nigel. And I think also, and obviously being a guy so synonymous with Arsenal as well, but I think because you came in and it was clear that you weren't there for the paycheck. You were going to put it in. Then the crowd just took to you, and considering that chicken run, I mean, you've been running up down that chicken run in a red shirt for a long time down West Ham, and now you're wearing a claret and blue one. All the guys.
I dodged a few bullets while I was wearing a red shirt. Let me tell you, I never went into that crowd to get the ball out. That's for sure. There were some big guys running down those steps at times.
You
can have the ball. Just give it me back when you want. It's not a problem.
Where's the ball boys? Ball boys.
The ball boys were bigger than me.
I know, but that's part and parcel of being away. And as you said, with West Ham, with Upton Park, obviously, you went there, as I said, as an Arsenal player, and now you're as a West Ham player, and so it's a completely different. It was an intimidating ground. It was, but it was a ground that if you gave your all, they'd give it back to you. And
it was a good place to play. That's for sure.
Yeah, good fun. Good, and he came into a team that was, really, under Harry, it was on the up. It was a successful team. We had a great, we had guys like yourselves, more sort of, you and Piercy and people like the sort of no disrespect, sort of veteran players. And we had guys,
definitely.
Then we had the Joe and Rio and Sinclair's and it was a right hodgepodge of Andy Canio, of course. Your mate was there.
My friend was there. Yeah.
Your friend was what was the first day like with Paolo walking into training?
The lads. Well, I don't know whether it was them or whoever it was certainly had a sense of humour, because they put me and him next to each other to change.
Brilliant.
In the changing room. But to be quite honest with you, listen, I got on well with Paolo. I think he had the same sort of mentality as me. He had a winning mentality. He liked things to be done right. And if he didn't, he left the training pitch very, very quickly. went off in his Ferrari, and then we see him again the next day as if nothing had happened. So to be quite honest with you, I got on very, very well with him. I've seen him a couple of times since I finished, and we've had a chat. We've never even mentioned the incidents that we had. It's something that passion of the game that we that spilled over in one game. People, I laugh at myself about it, so I'm not, I couldn't care less if people bring it up. They try to intimidate with me sometimes on social media, but I'm just turn around and say, I'm sitting here laughing at myself, mate. So if you think you are going to intimidate me by giving me a few bits on it on social media, you've just got no chance. So, but we got on very, very well.
Yeah, it was as I said, but it's just. I mean, when you look at the team, when you look at the squad, particularly the one you joined. I mean, obviously, it was you, and then a week later, Big Dave, your Arsenal teammate, Big Dave Suker signed as well, didn't he? So did you know he was going to sign?
No, I didn't know, and I suppose I was a little bit surprised because Davon had a bit of an injury, and I think he really struggled when he came to West Ham. His ankle his left ankle in particular wasn't right, and that was his strong side.
Yeah,
and you could tell that because I used to even watch him in training, and a lot of times, I don't know if you've noticed when you watched him play, he used to flick the ball up a little bit to try and strike it, and that usually is a bit of a sign that you've got you've got that, can't get that power through. You're trying to elevate it a bit to get a bit of power, but I didn't know he was coming. But again, he's a terrific guy. He's someone great to have around if you know him. But I don't think it was probably not as successful as we wanted it to be. Really,
no, it was one of those. Unfortunately, there was a bit of a conveyor belt. Particularly in the forward positions, I think, where it didn't work with him, and we brought in a few others and stuff like that. And obviously, that 2001 season was reasonably successful. I mean, I think we finished like 15th or something that season. But then Harry left, didn't he? He left at sort of the end of May with Glenn sort of taking over. When I mean, obviously you've been under Wenger. I mean, obviously George Graham and Wenger. When a manager changes, does that put you on edge as a player?
Well, I don't know if it puts you on edge. You obviously realise that there are going to be some changes, but you've just got to be big enough and strong enough. And I think a lot of players, if I'm honest with you, are very ruthless. They're all about themselves. Although we're playing a team game, they want to be number one in their position.
Yeah.
And I think when you have a change of manager, you've just got to make sure you're the guy that's in that number one position.
Yeah.
And then you try and work with your teammates to produce a successful team, and then you listen to the new manager's ideas, and you hope that you're going to enjoy the training method. So there's always a little bit of anxiety there because you're not sure if, particularly with me, I'm not sure what Glenn's thinking about me, whether he's looking to replace me, whether he thinks it's too old, whether he thought I shouldn't be joining, or so. But you've just got to try and put in the performances that even if someone has a little doubt about you, that you change their opinion very quickly.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And obviously, then the following season, we from 15th, I think we finished 7th. It was one of our highest ever. So it was a great season, and it was crazy. I was looking back at the scores, and there was like we'd lose 7-1 and then draw 4-4 with Charlton. It was like there was just it was a weird season, a very weird season. Don't know how we finished 7th, but we did finish 7th. And then obviously the last year we went down. And we had David James on a few weeks ago, and we was talking about the differences between, what happened between 01 and 02 and 02. And we've had like Sinclair on, we've had and no one can put their finger on what happened. No one.
No, and to be quite honest, for me, it was a bad year for me, a bad season for me, because I broke my wrist in training. I can't remember, before Christmas.
Yeah.
I didn't know that I'd broken it. But when I was at home, I couldn't do a lot of stuff at home. and I realised something was wrong. So I went back to the specialists, and they confirmed that I'd had a break, but it wasn't mending properly.
Sure.
So they said we can't leave it. We're going to have to re-break it and operate it and pin. So I had that done, and then I wasn't allowed to play because of the cast.
Yeah,
we were struggling. We couldn't win a game at home. And the team we had was unbelievable. I think we'd had a few problems up front. We'd got a lot of injuries. I think I remember Ian Pearce playing there
up front.
for a couple of games.
Yeah.
It was such a weird, because at times we'd come out up to Park and we were playing well, and the crowd were behind us, but we couldn't get the goal. And then you just knew that someone was going to make an individual error.
Yeah.
And it just seemed to happen every single game. And we just got into a bit of a hole. And then for me, obviously, at that period, I was out the team. I wasn't playing. I was waiting for my wrist to heal. And then personally, I found out my dad was really ill with cancer. So for me, I was really caught, because I knew we would be in a relegation battle, but also it was just a jolt out of the blue of what happened to my dad. He was really ill. And to be fair to Glenn, I went to see him, and I basically just said, look, I'm retiring as of now. My father's really ill. I just need to give him all that time that I can.
Totally.
But Glenn was brilliant. He just said, look, no, we absolutely will support you. So what I was doing, I was training at home and literally just going in once a week. So I had no idea of what the atmosphere was like. Literally just over halfway through the season, I knew we were in trouble.
Yeah.
But I was almost losing touch with what was happening.
Yeah.
I just wasn't in that right space, and
totally.
It was just, it's just as callous as it seems. You've got to get on with it, guys. You've got to pull us. So obviously, I didn't. Well, West Ham wouldn't let me rip up my contract, so I stayed on. But in essence, I'd left really, because I was training at home and I was in once a week. And then obviously Sir Trevor came in, and then we, and did remarkable really. And then we got Paolo back into the team. He'd fallen out with Glenn, but just that that final push at the end of at the end of the season just wasn't enough. And I've always said to this day, if you go back and look at the results, everyone looks at it, and for me the crucial game was we lost 2-0, I think it was, at Bolton away.
Yes. Yeah.
And a draw that game, in essence, probably, when you look at the results, that just pushed them 3 points further ahead of us. And that, for me, that was the game. Well, I think we needed that game, was to come away with at least a draw. And I genuinely still believe now that we would have stayed up.
Yeah. It's one of those things, isn't it? Looking back at it, as you say, but you're totally right, Nigel. I mean, to us, a very similar thing happened to my wife with her dad, and so yes, she was not part time, but she was over in the States, and she came and lived in the UK because he had cancer and stuff. So it's the same. I can totally vouch for how you must have felt. It's sort of split loyalties. Yeah, it's your career, but it's your dad, and and with everything going else and everything else, it's just it was just a horrible season, particularly being your last season as well.
I mean, it was weird, because I hadn't planned it to be my last season, because I don't know whether you knew, I'd signed 2 years for West Ham.
2 years first, and then you
so I'd finised, and West Ham were not renewing my contract. It was bizarre, and I had gone away, and then I just got a call one day. It wasn't even straight after the season. I think it was like a couple of weeks after. And Steve Cutler, who did a bit of work for me, he said, like, West Ham had just been in contact. They want to re-sign you. I was like, well, they just let me go. Like, it was like, what the heck's going on? He said, so I said, okay, well, what's the situation? He said, well, we've got a bit of a problem. He says, oh, well, what's the problem? It's like, well, they want to offer you 60% less wages than they gave you last year. So I was like, oh, look, listen, I'd love to, I'd love to carry on and give it another go. So, and I said, anyway, Steve, look, sort the deal out and just don't call me in the next couple of hours because I'm in the middle of playing golf. So I said, just wait, wait for a couple of hours and then just give me a call back if you've sorted the deal out and just let me know what it is. So absolutely, he called me back and he said, I've agreed to I've agreed your contract for you, but I think I better tell you what it is because I had no idea what the contract was. So so he said to me, it's 60%. It is 60% less. So when he told me what it was, I was like, that's a bit of a difference, isn't it? And he was like, yeah. So he said, but we did manage to get some sort of bonuses in there if you were playing. So I was like, well, I just you agreed it now, so
too
let's
late now,
just sign it with it. But that was obviously that was the third year. In essence, looking back now, probably it's just the way everything happened, and it probably would have been better for me as if it had all gone flat on its face because I wouldn't have had to be been torn between two things. Obviously, for me, my family was the most important thing, but seeing West Ham struggle made it so much harder because you feel that you're not part of it and you can't. Even if you're not playing well, at least you have a chance to do something. When you're on the outside looking in, the frustration just grows even more because, you're not in that situation. But, so I did the 3. And to be quite honest with you, I think looking back now, I probably would have gone again and done another year had it not been for the circumstances because I was feeling so good. And I was nearly 39, nearly 40 when in that final year. But I wouldn't have had any qualms if I was honest with you. Premier League would have been too much, but I would have had no qualms about dropping down into the Championship and playing just because I love playing. But I just lost the love of playing football. It was just bizarre. It just went after everything that I'd done, and my mum and dad followed me everywhere, nearly every single game. It's just as if it was I just wiped it away.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't interested. It was such a weird feeling.
Yeah. Well, it makes. I mean, to be honest, it was such an emotional. You said, you tear, between a rock and a hard place, and that hasn't happened before much in your career. So it was, and as you said, one of those things. Hindsight's a great thing, isn't it? We all look at hindsight and go, exactly. But it's. For me, I just think that you and Piercy together, the two of you, it was just such a, it was so exciting because we'd seen you guys play, hundreds of games for other clubs, and now you were playing for us, and you were giving it your all, and we knew that, and to be associated with a club, to be accepted by fans, it's not hard, is it? You just got to put a shift in and have a go, try, and you guys bloody did it, and that's why we loved you. And in terms of your throughout your career, because some of my members on the channel, they send some questions in, and one guy always asks the same bloody question all the time, but for different positions. Who was your toughest opponent in all your career?
Do you know what, I got asked this question yesterday.
Oh, did they? Okay.
And I had to, I always have to say to them, what do you mean by tough? Because tough to me is ability.
Okay, we'll go ability.
Let's go ability. Yeah, it's not like how hard are they. I'm not interested.
No.
I'm not interested in all that.
No.
But my toughest opponent ever in terms of ability was Luis Figo when he played for Barcelona.
Wow.
Boy, oh boy, he was he was some player. And a few, what is it now? It's got maybe 4 years ago. Arsenal, I'm talking about now, we played in Vets, two Vets games against Real Madrid, home and away for charity. And in the first game in the Bernabeu, he played. He's a lot younger than I am, and I thought it was a friendly. And he tried to run me down the wing and do a step over and drop his shoulder in the first couple of minutes. And I'm thinking, this ain't no friendly. So I had to, the second opportunity I got, I had to go in with a sliding challenge. And I hope that he took the hint and went the other side of the pitch, which he duly obliged. So I was very happy. But it was just, he was just unbelievable.
Yeah.
In terms of how strong he was. Wasn't sort of lightning quick, but he was powerful, and just the way he shielded the ball and moved the boy, he was. Such a great man. But then a lot of your players, again, if you're looking at Premier League, I played against some fabulous. I played against Kanchelski at Manchester United. Yes. Beckham was a different type of player because he used to go into positions where really as a left back you couldn't go and mark him, so he was quite intelligent in positions. He never really came up right against you as a winger was. And obviously not being overly quick myself, I didn't like those fast little devils. Used to try and knock the ball past and run you, but back in our day, you used to be able to get the first one free, as they said. You used to be able to ask the referee, so it always helped.
Well, that's the thing.
Let's be fair, Julian Dix was a master of that anyway.
I gotta say, Julian Dix, Thomas Repka, people like that. Exactly. I don't know how many games they'll play under VAR rules now, but it's different day, different game. Then you can't tackle nowadays. You can't tackle.
You can't. No.
We had,
I think I could have got booked a lot for over aggressive tackling.
Over aggressive.
I'm not even sure what that even means.
Yes, Your Honour. Over aggressive. I was over aggressive. We interviewed Michael Hughes from West Ham, player and played for Wimbledon and Palace, and we were talking about the game. He says, "Do you know what, Russ? I know people like a lot of the older players would say, they couldn't play in today's game. I'd love it because no one could tackle me. I wouldn't be scared. If someone like yourself, I wouldn't be worried that Nigel's going to be running behind me or Thomas Rhett or someone, as a defender. I
can't tackle from behind.
No, you can't tackle. So that was half of my worry when I got the ball. Not what I was going to do with it, but how far the fullback was behind me. So game's totally different now.
It is different. And what a lot of people forget is the conditions of the pitches.
Yes.
I think, the game was a lot slower. You knew a lot of the time that your winger or your forward was going to take a touch, whereas now they can let it run and they can put it round the corner pretty sure because the ball's moving quickly on the surface, whereas it gives defenders the opportunity to get close to your wingers because you knew really they weren't going to take it first time. Yeah. It's just the surfaces, some of them were just so, once you got to Christmas, they were just like a pudding, wasn't it? It was just it's just ridiculous.
But it's like I'd love to. But it's like where we've obviously interviewed lots of players from in sort of the from boys of '86 and the guy and guys in the '60s and stuff, and they talk about the pitches and then they talk about people like Trevor Brooking and what would they do, and Liam Brady's and what would they do on the bowling greens of London Stadium and Emirates and Old Trafford. It's so true. But the flip side, what would Messi do on an Upton Park December pitch, in the 80s? I would like to see that one try, but no, it's a different game now. But
it is.
It's totally different, man. Right, okay. So as I said, everyone we get on the channel, apart from Harry, actually, Harry didn't do an 11. He got out of it, and a few others. We put together an 11 of the players that you played with during your time at West Ham. As I said, 94 first team appearances, 3 seasons, some great players, and some not so great players as well. Let's be honest, as well that time as well.
Well, can we put them in as well?
You can put them if you want to. If you enjoy playing with them, you can put Javier Margas in if you want to. God bless him, or Hayden Fox, or you had a few of them, to be honest. Looking through it, bless him. So we try and put together an 11 of the players you played with, and it doesn't have to be the best. It could be the ones you enjoy playing with. It doesn't really matter, Nigel. It's all a bit of fun. And we get the fans to do it as well. And I think we're knocking about 400 interviews so far, which is great. So. Let's start. We'll start between the sticks. You had some good goalkeepers you played under when you was at West Ham. Who would you pick in the Winterburn 11 for West Ham?
I think it's got to be really Shaka Hislop.
Oh, love Shaka.
Yeah. I mean, obviously you spoke, but David James was there as well. But Shaka's just a likable guy, isn't he?
So cool, isn't he?
He's a dude.
Yeah.
I really liked it. I respected him as well. He's a good goalkeeper as well. So, I had a little think about it and had a little sneak back because I had to sort of remind myself, make sure some of the players I was thinking about, I actually did make half an appearance with them, even got 5 minutes with them. But
you say that we talk about David James, right? We talk about JMO. JMO did his 11. See you later, Rush. Yeah, no. The next day he was filming at West Ham, and I knew some of the guys he was filming with. And they texted me and they were talking about, oh yeah, you went on Rush's show, yeah. He went and he went for his 11 with I think Colton Cole was doing it and up front. He went, oh David, you didn't pick Paolo Di Canio. He went, what? I didn't pick Paolo Di Canio.
I think you do because I'm sure that there's going to be when I name this team that I've picked that someone's going to say, but what about it makes no difference because actually it's just that I forgot about them. It doesn't mean they're not any good.
It's not being funny. How many games did you play in your career, Nigel? So it's fair enough when you forget a few people.
I forget a few. I do forget a few people as well. Let me tell you, that's.
Are you one of these people? Are you one of these guys who remembers? I mean, I've interviewed people like Tony Cottee. He remembers every game he's played. And every. Do you remember all the games? Do you remember, or just you have certain highlights of
the good ones? I remember.
The good ones or the bad ones, not the ones in the middle.
Well, I've got a small piece of paper, so here's the good ones. I remember some stuff, and I do occasionally, if I'm honest with you, I do get the books out and go back through some of the years and have a little look about what happened. But I got to admit, I haven't done a lot of research for this one, so I had a quick think about. Literally, this team I picked was my first thought, and then someone might turn up. I'm pretty sure I played with all of them, at least, even if it was for only 5 minutes. But someone's going to say, no, he's already gone. But it doesn't matter because he played for West Ham, and I liked him. So
that's it, Nigel. As long as you're here,
it doesn't matter. The only one thing I can guarantee with you with this 11 is they were certainly all at West Ham.
Good, yeah. So we got Billy Bonds, Bobby Moore, all of them. Right, okay. Who's going to be your first? Who's your first defender then, Nigel? Go on. Who's your first defender?
I'm going to name my back players, and you can talk about them a little bit if you want. So I'm going to go Sebastian Schemmel.
Oh, I love Sebastian. He's lovely.
There you go. See, that's a surprise for you already. I can tell you. Look on your face. Thomas Repka.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Stuart Pearce. And then obviously, as I'm picking my team, I've got to put myself in it. Else, why would I pick these guys? So I've got to put yourself in. And if Pearcey wants to go left back, then I've never played centre half, but Potsy gave it a go, didn't he? And he was little, so. We could have a little switch around. In the modern game, we could switch around quite easy because that's what you're allowed to do. But so I've got Schemmel, Repka, Pearce, and myself.
Nice.
Reza I picked. I mean, Thomas Repka was just an animal, wasn't he? Let's be fair. I always used to remember him. I used to follow him out of training. He had this darkened glass in his car. You used to see the window down a little bit and the smoke coming out the windows. It always used to make me laugh when I used to see him. Pearcey just speaks for himself because he's just iconic. Everything that in terms of his reputation, what he achieves. So that's my back. That's my back four.
That's a tough back four.
There's probably a few people will disagree. I kind of. Glenn Johnson, but was very, very young, but only played. Stevie Potts, I could have played him, but he didn't really play much when
towards the end.
When I came. But lovely guy. So I think that if I'm honest with you, that my hardest was that back four. I didn't know. I wasn't quite sure what to pick. The rest of it for me is so easy.
Good. Well, Sebastian's lovely. We had Sebastian on a couple of weeks ago. He is. I like. Oh, honestly, he's crazy. He's got he's got a restaurant.
Restaurant. Yeah.
Called Upton Park.
Yeah,
brilliant. Absolutely love it. And he's got a tattoo.
His first season was he was insane, and then I don't know what happened the second season because He used to disappear for weeks and then come.
Cut his hair.
Where you been? It's just like, oh well, I've just been home for a few weeks. It's like, well, we've got games going on here.
Well, he did. He said to me, he went, I said, because you had the hair, you had the Alice band. He went, yeah. And then Trevor Sinclair scored the game against in Boxing Day, and I said he could cut my hair. So it was him and Thomas Repka, and I think Rio. They were all cutting my hair, and then I was shit for the rest of my West Ham career. I was like, fair enough, Seb. It was like Samson Delilah, bless him. Right, okay.
For that one year, midfield.
Go on, then, man.
Carrick, Cole, Lampard.
Oh, Carrick, Cole, Lampard. Oh, nice.
I mean, also for what these. I mean, Joe Cole. Let me tell you, it was sensational. He had a few injuries at West Ham.
Yeah.
While I was there, and it's just huge. I just love playing with him or watching him play. Yeah, just he wanted to dominate the football. Yeah. And then Michael Carrick and Frank Lampard. I mean, just even what they went on after, if you like, to achieve. For me, it was a pleasure to play with those guys for a short period of time.
Sure, and as a professional, and as obviously, not just West Ham, I think with Arsenal hat on as well. When you're doing training and these young whippersnappers turn up, these youngsters. I mean, Joe was just getting into the side, and do you look at this guy's got something? This guy's going to be, because obviously there'll be people that have trained with you, that we trained with the first team at Arsenal and West Ham, and you're thinking, no, he's not going to make it. But some people just, this guy's mustard. This guy's going to be good. Yeah,
I think so. I think with Joe, I always felt that because he'd been hyped for a long time. I think the one thing that even back then was slightly concerning was the injuries that he had picked up, and you just worry that it's not only that the expectation of what people are expecting from you is you're missing training, you're missing vital. Not only are you missing games, but you're missing training, which is the important part as well. But I mean that if you could have that midfield. I don't think too many people would be too disappointed, would they?
No, not at all. Not a bad midfield at all. It's crazy, isn't it? You think that that's practically sort of. We had Tony Carr a while ago doing his My Hammers 11, and obviously he brought through a lot of these players, and he did his 11, which turned out to be pretty much the World Cup 2010 squad, because included John Terry who came through the academy, and Rio and Glenn and It was just ridiculous, honestly, just absolutely ridiculous. The plethora of talent we had coming through at the same time as well. All that. You said Glenn Johnson as well, and people like that. Mental. Right, so put those three in.
Who's front three?
Who's your front three?
So TT Kamara.
Yep.
Diawara.
I always typed in TT. Oh, that poor TT.
Di Canio, Canuti, and Sinclair.
Oh dear, you got me going on TT. TT, I thought, mate, okay, maybe he was a nice bloke. And then when you said Diawara, I was like, nah, he's putting my plonk now.
No, so Di Canio, Canuti, and Sinclair.
Oh,
I love playing with Trevor. He's so much energy, a great guy as well. Just he had great legs that could cover me in the left back position plenty of times as well, so that was all right. So I was quite happy with that. But so as I said to you, I think for me the six from midfield, three in midfield, three up front was so easy to pick. I didn't pick. Obviously, we've got Jermaine Defoe, but he was just a young boy coming,
just starting
then. So I could have easily put him in there with if I wanted to say what he's achieved going, if you knew what he was going to achieve, I could easily put him in there. But Freddie Canuti was such a great player, so strong and powerful. I felt he should have maybe achieved a little bit more than he did. He had all the attributes of that centre forward type at that time. Mobile, he was quick, could hold the ball up, and at times you didn't quite know what he was going to do, and then obviously with Paolo, you knew that if he gave you the ball, he wanted it back within less than half a second because he wanted to entertain. So he always knew that he was only giving you the ball to get it back.
Yeah,
but no, his quality, just to be honest with you, it just spoke for itself. So that's my team. Those guys were just so easy to pick, really.
Oh yeah,
so
good team. Good team.
So I would like to say, if I was the manager, that I would be saying, look, guys, I think we need to be on the front foot as much as possible.
Yeah, let's just play attacking, and we could see a lot of those. That season we had like 4-4s, and we lost. I think we lost 7-1 to Blackburn away, and then we turned over a Derby 4-0. So that team would pretty much do that, to be honest. Yeah, that's a good team, man. That's a good team, Nigel.
It's not bad. It's not bad for a little stab in the dark. It's that would be very well. I'd be quite happy to send that team out and see how it got on.
Exactly. Nigel, I said 45 minutes, 46 minutes. I did say 45 minutes. Absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for your time, man. I really, really appreciate it.
Not really, a problem at all. Great fun. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Nigel.
And don't diss Titi Kamara.
Do you know what him and Rigobert's song? That was the Rio money.
I never forget Harry for buying Rigobert's song in the morning of I think it was the quarterfinals, and he played him, and he made 2 errors, and we got beat. I can't remember. I think it was Sheffield Wednesday or somebody like that. Have a look in your history books and have a look. Yeah. I never forgive Harry for doing that. Bought him and put him straight in the team.
Unbelievable.
And we lost.
But that was Harry, wasn't it? That was Harry.
Yeah, good feeling. Yeah,
he had a feeling, and sometimes they paid off, sometimes did it. Anyway, from myself and from Nigel, take care, everyone. Stay safe, wash those hands, come in your irons, and see you again very, very soon. Cheers, everyone. Bye bye.